Welcome. This is TVC News Hour featuring the Sunday specials. I am Esther Mapariola. The top stories. Armed men kill half a dozen persons in Bassa, a troubled local government in Plateau State. After 20 days in captivity, a zoo official regains freedom from kidnappers. Hundreds protests on the streets of Somalia's capital as death toll from Saturday's bomb blasts crosses 200. Also coming up on the news. Lagos inaugurates statue to celebrate Afrobeat legend Fela Anikulapo Kuti. Morocco takes over from Kenya as hosts of the 2018 African Nations Championship. And in our Sunday specials tonight.
This meat, anybody with malaria who? If we chow this meat, malaria go run. I swear to God.
Well, he's talking about dog meat to eat or not. Is the question we're asking tonight. Tagbe village in Plateau State is in mourning after armed men killed at least 6 persons early on Sunday morning. The attackers who invaded the village at about 12 midnight also injured 5 persons and burned down 10 houses. Among those killed were 5 adults and a teenager. They had been buried and the injured taken to hospitals in the state capital. Plateau State Police Commissioner Ude Adie has visited the affected village in Bassa local government area, vowing to fish out the perpetrators. Killed in the course of duty was the fate of 3 operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency gunned down while on patrol in Okene, Kogi State. Nicholas Onwomere Ebun Peters and Abdurrahman Musa were killed by gunmen who ambushed them at about 8:30 p.m. on Friday. Commandant of the NDLEA in Kogi, Idris Bello, said the incident occurred close to the Federal College of Education, Okene. He said the attackers made away with the rifles of the dead officers. A top official of Ogba Zoo in Benin, Andy Ehanire, is finally freed from captivity after spending 20 days in the kidnappers' den. It isn't clear if any ransom was paid for his release, as the police authorities in Edo State are yet to make any comment on this. Ehanire was abducted from the zoo by gunmen last month, and 3 policemen posted to provide security for fund seekers at the zoo were killed in the process. All seems not well with the All Progressives Congress in Sokoto State following the party primaries that produced Abdullahi Kalan Baina as a flag bearer for the Wamako Kware constituency by-election. Mohammed Sadiq, the contestant in the primaries, has now defected to the People's Democratic Party, alleging manipulation and delegate intimidation.
What I have found here in Sokoto is different from what is there at the national level, because the national leadership of our party, they don't discriminate. They treat all our members equally without any discrimination. But here, if you don't belong to some certain group, or you are not a Master A boy, they will not allow you to go, no matter how competent, no matter how experienced you have. My next line of action, last 2015, I challenged them up to the Supreme Court level, and they know I'm a good fighter. I'm happy even the chairman who chaired the committee of election, he called me a good fighter. He knows, because I'm a no-nonsense politician. You can't mess me up.
Minister of Labour and Employment Chris Ngige says President Buhari isn't marginalizing the people of the southeast. He said the president appointed 4 out of 5 eastern states representatives in his cabinet as substantive ministers. The minister urged Indigo to support President Buhari, saying the president means well for the zone. Some Igbo leaders also urged the people of the southeast to forget the past and team up with the president to develop the country.
The Igbos with their 5 states got 4 ministers of cabinet position. And Minister for Foreign Affairs is #1 minister. It's cabinet rank. Over in other climes, Secretary of State. You are the #1 minister. He was seated there. The said he's an Igbo man. You people also do industries, buying and selling. I gave you people Minister of Trades, Investment and Industry. Okay, Nelama. He was seated down there. He said, is it not to help you guys? I also gave you Minister of Science and Technology. Science and technology is the bane of any revolution. It's the cross, it's the foundation of the Chinese Revolution. He gave us employment and labor and employment. In other clients, labor minister is number 3. I go out on conferences and meetings. My colleagues are number 3 in the hierarchy of their country.
President Buhari is the president of this nation, and whatever he's doing is for the well-being of the people of Anambra and the Nigerians in particular.
Mr. President, I thank him very much for accepting our people, for listening to our requests. We are not marginalized, and I believe you that Buhari will not marginalize Igbos.
Agitators for the restructuring of Nigeria have been advised to focus more on building leaders in the 6 geopolitical zones rather than canvassing constitutional issues that may throw the country into chaos. Speaking in Abuja, a group of patriots, the Patriotic Movement of Nigeria, asked constituents to start crucial meetings with their senators and House of Reps members. They say any call for restructuring not based on the 1999 Constitution may be declared illegal by the Supreme Court, and so there is a need to have guided conversations that do not threaten the stability of the country.
As patriots concerned with governmental stability, the survival of democracy and avoidance of uncertainties that could gravely affect the progress and development of our dear nation, we have come to the following observations. Patriotism is indispensable for good governance. Many critical national stakeholders miss the obvious point that efforts to restructure Nigeria must be founded on the existing 1999 constitutional text.
At the patriotic movement level, we believe we can fully restructure. But the restructure on the parameters set out by that 1999 Constitution, we understand and we agree to be weak and deficient in some respects. You must deal with the text of that Constitution, even as you struggle to restructure the country. The North just had 2-day conference. Yes. They've not even finalized a position on it. The Southwest are taking a position. From the South, we don't even know their stand. There's no document. They start it with all the noise and agitation and so on. They've not even taken a final stand. When these final stands are taken by the 6 geopolitical zones, the senators did not come from the moon. They didn't come from the sky. The people will call them back to Arewa House, to Hanese, I said, this is what we want.
Like a dream, the Bayelsa West Senatorial Road is gradually becoming a reality after Governor Seriake Dixon, federal and state lawmakers and government officials drove on it for the first time in 40 years. The sandy ride in Alibiri is historical for the state governor, who says the road will further open up communities of Bayelsa, Delta and other Niger Delta states to development.
Bayelsa Deputy Governor Boribiwa Jonah was the first to ride on a sandy Nembe road after the state government gave an intervention fund of 3 billion naira to the contractor for its completion few years ago. Again, the Bayelsa state government makes history when Governor Seriake Dixon, his deputy and government officials rode on the Bayelsa West Senatorial Road, first conceived for construction in 1979 without even clearing the bush. Jubilant people of Alibiri community turned out in large numbers to welcome their governor.
This is the first time we have seen such a thing. We are very grateful for Governor. Very, very grateful. We are not going to forget him till the end of our life.
For the first time, vehicles are now driving on the soil of Alibiri. We used to pass Delta State several years ago. Only today, by the grace of God, who touched our governor.
This road has been conceived since 1979.
and no effort has been made to get this road to this point. But with Governor Dixon's assumption of office, in less than 4 years, we have been able to take this road to this point. As I talk to you, stone base will be here by December, and by December 2018, we should be able to drive to Ikiremo.
No doubt, a difficult terrain, but the Bayelsa state government is set to conquer it for development to come to communities of Bayelsa, Delta, and neighboring states of the Niger Delta region of Nigeria when the Sagbama-Ekeremo road is completed.
When the people of Bayelsa have a person that is completely selfless, that believe in development, that believe in opening up the Niger Delta area to the world.
This road is very, very beneficial, not just to this local government or to this senatorial district. This road is very important to this state. This road is very important to the John Nation, to the Niger Delta, and therefore to Nigeria. Because all the communities on the other side, across the other side of the river, is Delta State, as you all know. So this road connects so many communities and peoples, cutting across local governments, cutting across state boundaries.
Ofieteme George, TVC News, Alebiri, Bayelsa State.
Still ahead on the news, Zamfara government partners UNICEF to encourage the culture of hand washing. Foursquare Gospel Church held its fourth public lecture with the theme, Making Nigeria Work, a Job for All. Former chairman of the Nigerian Economic Summit Group, Samuel Habonwa, used the opportunity also to support the call for restructuring.
With rapt attention, guests in this hall listened as speaker after speaker proffered what they believe to be solutions to the numerous challenges facing the country. While the keynote speaker, Sam Oumbua, said restructuring will address some perceived imbalances in the country, former Minister of Health, Prince Julius Adelusi Adelui, described Nigeria as a country on the edge. He urged that unless something urgent was done, the country may experience more agitations.
The way a federation is formed is that federating units cede their power, some power to the center, and they contribute money for those common service to be run by the center. That was what 1963 Constitution said. That was what 1959 Constitution said. To be run by the center. That was what 1963 Constitution said. That was what 1959 Constitution said. The 4 or 3 regions we had ran almost autonomously. They had their own constitution. They did their own business. They generated their fund. They remitted. And everybody was developing, and people were giving scholarship, people were employed, there was development. Something that has worked, we're saying, can we go back to what has worked? And somebody says no.
So the leadership will need capacity. Don't try to be a leader if you don't have capacity. Physical capacity, mental capacity, as well as spiritual. I won't go into details. A leader must have connectivity, connecting with his constituents.
The convener and general overseer of the church, Reverend Felix Medoe, speaks on why he chose the theme at this material time.
One of our tenets of faith as an organization is the belief in civil government. And over the years, we have consistently demonstrated this in many ways, in many respects. The topic that has been chosen for this public lecture, Making Nigeria Work, a Job for All, simply reflects our disposition to the Nigerian nation.
Like many gatherings lately, at this one too, restructuring evidently gained support.
A local church in Lagos says the youth need to acquire a skill aside being educated in order not to face the risk of being unemployed. Senior reporter Ivy Kanu reports.
For someone hearing those beats for the first time, celebration comes to mind. But this is a church youth program and the level of energy on display wasn't a surprise. Then the procession to usher in preachers and leaders of the church. Being their day, they were allowed to lead in Bible readings taken to celebrate their 30 years of worshiping together as youths.
Sing unto him, sing psalms unto him. Talk ye of all his wondrous works. Glory ye in his holy name. Let the heart of them rejoice that seek the Lord.
No other group of people can claim the faithfulness of God, or can depend or wait upon the faithfulness of God. Only the children of covenant.
Others present say it was important for Nigerian youths to stay focused and strive to be the best they can.
You need to look at yourself, and it will be sometimes you want to cut corners, but all over, every time of human existence, we will always have difficult times, and only those who rely on God, who put their faith in God, they survive, and they survive well.
They should be more focused in whatever they do. I detest laziness. They should be strong-willed and do what is right. They should be straightforward.
My expectation as a young person is to see how Nigeria can create a platform for us to add value to the system. We have learned a lot as a youth. During this program, we have learned so many things in terms of empowerment, in terms of value creation, in terms of how we can be so distinct in the citizen as a member of Nigeria. So we want to see how Nigeria can enable us to create this enabling environment for us to add this value to the system. And don't forget, we even remember when Jesus Christ started, it started at the age of 30.
Prayers were offered for all youths across the country, and the choir continued the rendition of soul-lifting songs to end the power-packed service. Ivy Kano, TVC News, Lagos.
Service to humanity is service to God. And this was the prevailing theme at an investiture of Knights in Bayelsa State. Wife of Bayelsa State Governor Rachel Dixon told the Knights of the Order of the Saint Christopher and the Knights of Blessed Virginia Mary to see the investiture and elevation in church as a call to higher service for the good of the society.
I know that they are good people, and I know that Dr. and Mrs. Apoku, with the grace of God, are going to be carrying out their duties with the fear of God, and they are going to be a blessing to as many people that cross their path. Once more, I congratulate Dr. and Mrs. Apoku on this great feat and ask that this great God of heaven bless them.
They should remember that the entire crowd and people are watching out for them, and so they should live a life that is worthy of emulation. Be an ambassador of Christ wherever they find themselves, in the offices, in the family, wherever, including the church.
It's a challenge to higher service. Yes, that is it essentially, in the service of God. We've been serving, but this is a higher calling again.
I feel really honored, and I'm happy that I've been given the opportunity to work with the bishop to serve God and to serve man.
Senate President Bukola Saraki says Nigerian journalists need not relent in their efforts to provide quality reportage of legislative activities that will ensure good governance. He said this at the annual Senate Press Corps dinner in Abuja, where Senators Oluremi Tinubu, Aliyu Sabi and Dino Melaye were honored for their contributions to their parliament.
It's the annual Senate Press Corps dinner, and federal lawmakers are here to be honored for contributing effectively to lawmaking in the 8th Senate. Senate President Bukola Saraki, who was represented, says journalists have contributed immensely to information dissemination between parliamentarians and their constituents, thereby enriching democracy and good governance.
More than your colleagues covering the executive and the MDS, you have a special role to let people know more about the law-making process, the importance and need for oversight and advocacy functions of the Senate. To do this effectively, you must strive to always understand the issues, the laws, and the process in the Senate. Convince yourself on the need to patriotically convey them well to the people.
For us in the Senate and indeed in the National Assembly, it's been wonderful having this core of journalists who are doing their bit in their respective media organizations to work with us so that we can inform Nigerians what we are doing.
With this admonition, the stage became set for a night of entertainment and reflection, with performing lawmakers such as Senators Oluremi Tinubu, Philip Aduda and Dino Melaye, among others, stepping forward to receive awards after their profiles and contributions to the 8th Senate were read amidst loud ovation. Dignitaries at the event commended the lawmakers for effective legislation, especially in the areas of constituency projects and holding constant town hall meetings with their constituents.
They represent what we can truly say the movers and shakers of the 8th Senate. And as Nigerians, we are particularly grateful for them for each and everyone's contribution to their respective communities.
This award is based principally on the number of bills, motions, and their contributions on the floor of the House, as may have been captured by which the reporters covering the National Assembly.
The federal lawmakers pledged to continuously contribute to good governance through motions and bills that will create more jobs, a booming economy, including the welfare and security of the nation. Sumner Sambu, TVC News, Abuja.
Zamfara state government and UNICEF plan to engage traditional leaders and the media to reach out to rural communities in teaching the culture of hand washing. The governor, Abdulaziz Yari, said this at an event to celebrate Global Hand Washing Day in Gusau, the Zamfara state capital. And TVC News correspondent Ibrahim Bello reports.
Governor Abdulaziz Yari Abubakar was represented by Head of Service Alhaji Mujitafa Isa at this year's Global Hand Washing Day event at the Universal Basic Education Teacher Training Development Center, Gusau. The theme of this year's celebration is Our Hands, Our Future, and is aimed at making hand washing a routine behavior in all communities. The event will also create awareness on repeatedly and regularly washing our hands with water and soap at critical times such as after using the toilet, handling animals or waste, as well as before eating, cooking or serving food. According to a research by the UNICEF, between 30 to 50% of deaths from diarrhea can be simply prevented if hand washing is made a habit. This has prompted the Zamfara state government and UNICEF to fully engage the traditional institutions, religious leaders, teachers and media in passing the messages across.
We can surmount the effort to get the support of the traditional institution along with the religious institution for the media to finally amplify whatever decision is taken. I believe the objective of this advocacy program will be met in no time.
UNICEF also says more than 300,000 children under the age of 5 die globally from diarrheal infections linked to poor access to safe drinking water and sanitation. Dr. Muhammad Muhyiddin is the cluster head of UNICEF field office in Sokoto.
Now, if you go to the community in the Nigerian, northern Nigerian context, who are the real powerful person to whom people listen to? And if you look historically, it is the traditional institutions to whom people respect, to whom people listen to. So, and they have already structures, and this is not a new structure, not a new tradition. This structure has been here for last 400 or 500 years.
The state in particular has been a long-standing partner with UNICEF, and we have achieved so much. This year alone, Zamfara State is spending about 64 million on wash. That is bringing about toilet facilities and then washing facilities in our schools.
School pupils demonstrate effective ways of hand washing. The partnership between Zamfara State government and the UNICEF will enhance demand for basic social services like routine immunization, hygiene and sanitation, as well as provision of safe drinking water in the state. Ibrahim Bello, TVC News, Gusau, Zamfara State.
Still ahead on TVC News, Lagos State government unveils a statue in honor of Abamieda Fela Anikulapo Kuti. That's as celebration comes to an end. Details in just a moment. This isn't the best of times for Mogadishu residents, with hundreds taken to the streets to march after more than 200 people were killed in near simultaneous bombings in the Somali capital. More than 2,000 people gathered in Mogadishu to protest against the attacks that have been described as the most deadly since the Islamist insurgency began in 2007.
It was massacre what happened yesterday, and I never saw such a thing in the last 27 years. I witnessed the little boy's head laying on the ground, and his mother and other children with their heads were also cut in the explosion. People buried separately parts of people's bodies because they collected them separately. It was a very shocking event. Our country was sold by people, and people do not have faith in their country's protection. When we have had conflict over the past 27 years, and we pray to God for peace for our country.
Police said a truck bomb exploded on Saturday outside a hotel in an area lined with government offices, restaurants and kiosks. The blast flattened several buildings and set dozens of vehicles on fire. And 2 hours later, another blast struck the capital's Medina district, and there has been no immediate claim of responsibility. The opposition in Kenya isn't letting off on its protests, while Raila Odinga says countrywide demonstrations will go on daily from Monday to push for reforms at the country's electoral management body. Even though he has dropped out of the October 26 rerun, Odinga told supporters in Mombasa that any repeat election must be held on a level playing field.
We have already said that we will not go for election if thieves are in charge. We want to go for election on a level field. We will uproot all the thorns, we will remove all the tree stumps, we will remove all the stones, we will cover all the holes, and we will enter that field and see each other man to man. If that's not it, they can battle with their stooges. We are saying no reforms, no election. The way you have come out in large numbers, tomorrow we are having a peaceful demonstration. We will do our demonstration in peace, no reforms, no election. How many of you are in agreement? Can I see your hands? I will be there to fight for our rights, to fight for the rights of people of this city. We are fighting for the rights, and we will be there at the demonstration, and I will be the one leading.
Austria is set to be run by the world's youngest head of state. A 31-year-old Sebastian Kurz's party gained 31% of the votes cast in elections on Sunday to beat the others. He is expected to form a coalition government and said after his victory that he would consider all options. His party's victory is another pointer to the rise of populism in Europe. Centre-right Kurz had pledged earlier on to cut benefits for all foreigners in Austria and has vowed to stop the European Union meddling in its country's politics. To sports news now. Aqua United are champions of the 2017 ITO Cup, known as the Federation Cup. The Promise Keepers beat Niger Tornadoes on 3-2 penalties in the final at the Agege Township Stadium on Sunday. The match had ended goalless after regulation time. Gabriel Okechukwu scored the decisive kick for Aqua after Tornadoes lost 4 of their kicks. It is their second Federation Cup title in 3 years after winning it in 2015. Aqua United have now qualified for the CAF Confederation Cup next year.
I'm excited, I'm happy, and we have to thank God for what He has given us today, and we hope we can give Nigeria very good representation in the cup competition. That was our target, even in the league. We lost narrowly, but we know there is another opportunity through ITO Cup, and we motivate ourselves to go for it.
This is my first major trophy, so I'm very happy. Winning it in my homeland, Lagos, I'm very happy. I pray they should watch out for Aqua United because we have a very good side, and we pray we're going to represent the country very well.
The Confederation of African Football have officially announced Morocco as the new hosts of the 2018 African Nations Championship. CAF confirmed Morocco as hosts on their official website on Sunday. The decision to give Morocco the hosting rights ahead of Ethiopia and Equatorial Guinea was taken at the Emergency Committee meeting of CAF on Saturday in Lagos. Kenya was initially billed to host the tournament, but poor preparations meant they were stripped of their rights, while the home-based Super Eagles are one of the 16 teams that will feature. The tournament for players plying their trade in their local league is scheduled for the 12th of January to the 4th of February 2018. It was Wayne Rooney to the rescue as the Everton star fired home a late penalty to rescue the point for the Toffees at Brighton in the Premier League. After a lackluster first half, Anthony Knockaert put the hosts ahead in the 82nd minute to scenes of wild celebration. But a silly foul by Brighton captain Bruno saw the visitors awarded a 90th. But a silly foul by Brighton captain Bruno saw the visitors awarded a 90th minute penalty that Rooney converted.
And Rooney may well have earned a point, and also may well have helped his manager.
The 1-1 draw moves both sides onto 8 points, with Everton in 16th and Brighton in 14th. In Sunday's other game, Manolo double-inspired Southampton as they twice came from behind to secure a 2-2 draw with Newcastle. And in one of the greatest tennis rivalry, Wimbledon champion Roger Federer beat world number 1 Rafael Nadal 6-4, 6-3 in the Shanghai Masters final to capture his 6th title of the year. The 36-year-old Swiss, who has lost only 4 times in 2017, was again in imperious form as he won in 72 minutes. It was his 4th win of the year against Nadal and his 5th in succession over the Spaniard. The 19-time Grand Slam winner cut his deficit against Nadal to 23-15. It moves him level with Ivan Lendl in terms of open-era titles. Former world number 1 Maria Sharapova has won her first title since May 2015, beating Aina Sablenka 7-5, 7-6 in the Tianjin Open final. The 30-year-old Russian was playing her 7th event since she returned to the tour in April from a 15-month drug ban. She trailed 4-1 in both sets before overcoming the 19-year-old Belarusian in 2 hours and 5 minutes. It is a 5-time Grand Slam winner's 36th WTA tournament victory. The result means Sharapova moves up to number 57 in the world rankings. Now, 20 years after his death, Lagos State government unveiled the Liberation Statue in memory of the late Afrobeat legend Fela Anikulapo Kuti. Correspondent Adedoja Salamadeniyi reports.
The statue represents the essence of Fela by using his costume as a work of art. This work is one of 22 works of art inaugurated across the state. Acting Commissioner for Tourism says the late legend is part of Lagos' success story.
The story of Fela, his music or prophecies, as some will describe the lyrics of his songs, and lifestyle cannot be told without recognizing the environments where he chose as home and theater of musical expression. Simply put, Fela is part of the Lagos success story.
Everybody say, yeah, yeah.
October the 15th is the late Fela's birthday. If the legend were alive, he would mark his 79th birthday on the day. But Ambode says Fela lives on, and Lagos has elected to celebrate him at 79.
Fela would have been 80 years next year. And for his contribution to music, art and entertainment in Lagos, Nigeria and Africa, we believe it should be immortalized. Fela deserves to be celebrated with many more monuments and different artistic expressions. Today, he is still alive in his music and in the music of Femi, in the music of Sheung and other artists who have followed his style of music. This monument we have unveiled today should be the first of many to celebrate the icon who gave us Afrobeat.
One of late Fela's children, Yeni Kuti, thanked the governor on behalf of their family.
On behalf of the Kuti family, my brothers and my sister, Auntie Yemisi Dotun, we say thank you. We thank you, Governor Ambode, for recognizing my father in a big way. He has recognized Fela in a big way. So, on behalf of the Kuti family, I say thank you.
Governor Ambode also visited Fela's house, Kalakuta Republic, at Ikeja. Adedoja Salamadeniyi, TVC News, Lagos.
Still to come on TVC News Hour.
Cow meat feed day here or goat meat till the next day. But this dog, 404, you know if you remain here for today, today must finish.
So this is our best meat. So we enjoy it more than any other meat.
TVC's Ugochi Oluigbo travels across communities where dog meat is the preferred meat. Her story in our Sunday specials after this break. Stay with us. As the number of girl child keeps rising, there are fears many would be given out early in marriage. Activists are now advocating relevant laws to check early marriages. And TVC News correspondent Godwin Agwam sent in this report.
The United Nations has marked October 11 as the International Day of the Girl Child to advocate for equal rights to enable the girl child achieve her potentials in the society. A coalition of child rights advocates is using this year's event to campaign for laws that would check early child marriage and gender inequality in the country.
Allowing a girl that is not up to 18 to get married
it's not even supposed to be at all. It sounds somehow. So it should be something that there should be a law that if you are not up to certain age, you shouldn't get married or you shouldn't give your children out for marriage. Then you should also have a law that makes it compulsory for a child to get the basic education, even up to GSS 3. I think that is the minimum that is allowed.
But the National Agency for Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, feels the government alone cannot end the scourge, but must have the cooperation of parents, traditional rulers, and religious leaders in bringing the campaign to fruition.
The government cannot do it alone. You and I, our parents, the communities, our traditional rulers, our religious rulers, we must all collaborate to ensure that we sensitize our people, our communities on the dangers and ills, such as teenage pregnancy, early pregnancy, leading to abortions, leading to obstructed labor, and could eventually lead to death, killing the future generations.
Students who spoke to TVC News described early marriage as a barrier to the future of the girl child and called for an end to it.
I think parents should stay by their children and girls should say no. And when they say no, they should mean no. Because early marriage for a girl is absolutely wrong.
She's not yet matured to face such responsibility in marriage. She's not prepared.
It's not advisable for a girl underage to get married. She might have complications when giving birth to that child. And it's a form of maltreatment to that child.
As the campaign for the right of the girl child continues to gather momentum annually, it is hoped that relevant stakeholders would listen to the voice of reasoning and address the anomaly in order to make the world a better place for the girl child.
Indigenous and non-indigenous residents of the northern Nigerian state of Kano describe living together as a good thing. The residents, who are mainly Hausas, Igbos and Yorubas, believe peace and unity and not separatist agitations remains the only solution to Nigeria's stability. In this Sunday special, TVC News Kano correspondent Ibrahim Isa tells us the story of an Igbo man who has spent more than 40 years doing business in Kano.
Every day at the Nkura section of the famous Abubakar Rimi market in Kano State, there's a lot of hustle and bustle. For residents and business people every day in Kano is characterized by peaceful business activities. This is the generator parts sale and repairs portion of the biggest market in Kano State. Here, the Hausas, Igbos and Yorubas are united in the search for their daily bread. Daniel Ebe, an Igbo man, sells generator parts and repairs old ones as well. He has been in the business alongside his colleagues, who are both Hausas and Yorubas for more than 40 years now. Every day, he trudges back home from the market to meet his family without any fear or intimidation. His wife and children are always happy to receive him after a hectic day. Although Daniel hails from the southeast and arrived in Kano in 1977, he has had a share of what it is like to live in a city like Kano.
40 years, it's not 40 days. I did my first job at a company they call Maduguna Bakunwaya, owned by a Hausa man here, the late Madugu, Ibrahim, has a company that deals on generators. That's where I did my first apprenticeship. And ever since then, this is the business I've been doing.
Despite the recent separatist agitations by a section of Igbos in the southeast and the October 1st deadline by some youth groups in the north, Egbe and his family believe Kano is home to them and see no reason to leave the state.
So I'm using this opportunity to even ask those people who say that we should break away that there's a way to go about agitation. Table your issues, let the elders push for it. We don't expect our security operatives to watch anybody pick up arms and say this is what you want. It doesn't happen anyway.
So far in Kano State, I've got good friends,
yeah, good friends, good people around me in Kano. The people of Kano State, once you understand their likes, their dislike, their moral values, I feel it's halfway into living peacefully with them. And I believe this is core, this is part of every religious doctrine and teaching you can get any part of the world, anywhere you go.
Most of my friends are Hausas, and then the rest are just maybe non-indigent from other states. I was born and brought up here. I made friends with my childhood friends, all of them are Hausas.
Just like it is in the southeast and southwestern part of Nigeria, Nigeria's ethnic groups have enjoyed living with each other in the north for donkey's years. In Kano State, the relationship between the Igbos, Yorubas and Hausas remains cordial.
Both tribes transacting business in this market say Nigeria must remain united. To them, tolerance is key to national security.
I've been in Kano about 10 years now. So we are okay, there's no problem.
We should live together in peace. The peace of Nigeria cannot be negotiable.
I was born and brought up in Kano. By birth, I'm a Kano man. By blood, I'm an Igbo man. So my relationship between my people here is cordial.
Months ago, northern youth groups and ethnic groups resident in Kano State met to discuss peace. The peace talks were meant to strengthen ties between them and dissociate themselves from the separatist agitators in the southeast.
Your Excellency, good afternoon. Your Excellency.
Authorities in Kano appreciate the efforts of the groups and reiterate their commitment to ensuring the safety and security of both indigenous and non-indigenous living in the state. They urge others to do same so that the country can achieve sustainable growth.
And the message is clear to all Nigerians that you believe two wrongs cannot make a right. They are wrong. That action is wrong. And you are not ready to complement that wrong action with another wrong action. That is why you decided to make a press conference and call upon people of Nigeria, in particular this part of the country, that people should not take laws into their hands.
Egbe has taken a bold step to continue to preach peace in the Hausa language that he has learned, and Igbo, his mother tongue, as well as English, Nigeria's lingua franca.
So I want to say this message to my people who are at home, my Igbo brothers and sisters, my Yoruba brothers and sisters, that this nation have come to stay. Everyone zamantakeya, zaman lafiya, tsakanin al'umma da kabilu na so ci gaba. An yi bundi Igbo, ndị a so nụọ na ndo na Kano. An yi ngwunan nsogbu.
Kano, the commercial capital of northern Nigeria, is home to many Nigerian tribes. There are clear signs that people here want to live in peace and tranquility.
Going by the picture painted by both indigenous and non-indigenous tribes living in the northern Nigerian state of Kano, the peace, unity of this country is not negotiable. They are hopeful that with the coming together of various tribes, especially the Igbos and the Hausas, peace, security and unity of the country would be achieved. Ibrahim Isa, TVC News, Kano.
Now, what animals to be eaten or spared is an age-long question which many have different answers to. Vegetarians and some conversationalists say cutting out meat of any kind is the best answer, but for those with exploring taste buds, nothing should be off the table. Ugochi Oluibu has more.
Some states in Nigeria are known for their unique love for dog meat and varieties of bushmeat. For many, it is unimaginable eating these creatures. For others, bushmeat is not such a bad idea. But for many more, dog meat is a no-no. On a trip to Akwa Ibom and Cross River States, we saw many animals displayed for sale, so we stopped to find out why.
But this thing now, as they kill them, if you know they from, if you can't go bush, you don't see them again. What you do? Because you don't kill all of them. You know they're possible. You know they are possible.
Cross River States, we saw many animals displayed for sale, so we stopped to find out why.
But this thing now, as they kill them, if you know they from, if you can't go bush, you don't see them again. What you do? Because you don't kill all of them. You know they're possible.
You know they are possible.
Why?
As you kill her, you build a woman be. Where person die today, another one go burn.
Go burn another one?
Yes.
You dey sell them? How much you dey sell this one?
Somebody give me 10,000.
10,000?
Yes.
Na better bushmeat, na fresh one.
Better bushmeat?
Kill am alive.
And then you go cook and come sell them? Yes. Come show us the one where you don't cook, sir. What do you put inside? What do you put inside?
I put pepper, I put everything. All the ingredients.
And chow.
And the thing is sweet, very delicious.
Conservationists are warning that the earth is losing its animal species at an alarming rate. Man's insatiable and unsustainable consumption is driving many species to extinction, but it is a difficult message for many who depend on the forest for their livelihood.
When I carry come, sometimes I sell them, or I cook them for people to
Okay,
eat.
so people eat pangolins too?
Very wonderful.
Wonderful meat?
It's very, very tasteful.
This is no joke, this is a dog.
Dog meat is such a delicacy here, but not served in every restaurant as assumed.
Now, we've been going through Cross River State, Akwa Ibom State, and guess what? We found where dog meat is being sold in Abia State. I never knew that. Unbelievable. So we're here to find out if this is for real. This is dog meat, aka 404.
This is dog meat.
Ogwan area.
One area. Oh, to say prepare this ano.
Yes, I'm the one who prepared it. Not everyone can prepare this special meat, but I know how to do it so very well with the right ingredients.
But some of us, my hand, we're all through Nazi.
This is Iguano, men in Omahia. This is the boundary between Abia State and Akwa Ibom. So this is our best meat. So we enjoy it more than any other meat.
People who like the meat, they plenty. Then many of them like the meat. They call for phone. They ask whether they go prepare the meat today. And I make each time we prepare the meat need to stay long. If you keep cow meat feed day here or goat meat till the next day. But this dog, 404, you know if you remain here for today you must finish. Before 6 in the evening, everything done, finish.
You love dog meat?
Very, very much. More than every other meat. If you can give me only dog meat, without this one, forget about, just take your malu.
But some people say dogs are pets. You're not supposed to kill them like that. They love human beings. So.
You get the one will be pet. You get the one will be for we to eat.
Yeah. Is it true?
Nah, so.
Oh, yeah, try that.
So the one will be for pets is for Yibodep. The one will be our own.
African. And as you can see,
yes.
This is my best meal.
Sure.
Oh my God. Very, very sweet.
With the emergence of animal-transmitted diseases like bird flu, Ebola, chickenpox, Lassa fever, monkeypox, and many more, health authorities are warning eaters to avoid consuming some animals or be more careful in doing so.
The biggest period of risk is in the preparation of these animals, where people don't take precautions, don't wash their hands, don't wear gloves, and especially if there's a sick animal being prepared. So really our advice is twofold. To prevent animal-to-human transmission, to be very careful when you're killing animals, to use gloves and gowns wherever possible. If you can't, then please wash your hands afterwards.
Stakeholders are also asking that the government institute stronger wildlife regulations.
I think that in dealing with these challenges at this time, we should be a bit more proactive and begin to look at how we deal with wildlife issues in this country. What exactly are our people allowed to eat and hunt? And how is this being controlled and managed?
But that's just talk for those who believe some meat is medicine to them.
Huh?
Right here, everything, all the whole ingredients.
Inside here?
Inside here, now you do. That leg going to the worker. When you hear, when you go everywhere. This meat, anybody with malaria, who? If you chop this meat, malaria go run. I swear to God.
Why not?
These pots may just keep cooking up a broth of animals, endangered or not, if there are no strong conservation efforts and without sustainable and profitable alternatives.
Let me try.
Wow. Enjoy. It's very sweet. It's very, very sweet. Wow. It's my best meat. Go on. Very, very sweet.
No.
No, why?
Nah.
And so, my first attempt at eating dog meat.
Wow.
It's small.
Was a failure.
Just a small.
Ugochi Olibo, TVC News.
They make reporters. Why you fake?
Oh dear, Ugochi couldn't taste the dog meat. Well, I'm sure others can. And with that, it's a wrap on the News Hour. For more details, visit our website. It is tvcnews.tv and join the conversation on all our social media platforms using the handle at tvcnewsng. Thanks for being a part of it. I am Esther Mopariola. Bye now.